Hey, I'm Brandi Chanel, and you're here with PUTINWORKTV.
Hello, Brandi. Welcome to PUTINWORKTV. We've enjoyed watching your journey and growth as an artist in the New England music scene and really want to hear more about your story. Our focus is allowing our guests to tell their stories front and center without judgment or opinion. So let's dive in. How did it all begin?
So when I was little, middle school-ish, but you had to listen to music on CD, so I would burn CDs and give it to people to listen to, and I would just create mixes of music, and my sister showed me how to do it on LimeWire. So I used to download music, put them on CDs, and then give it to people at lacrosse camp or give it to people at school, and people would listen to CDs. It was just a pathway to music. And then iPods came out, and then I used to put music on people's iPods. And yeah, I just had a big selection of music. So shout out to my sister for showing me how to do all that. Yeah, so I used to do that. And then eventually, I was just looking for a way to hone my creative, ability in music. Because it kind of went away for a while. I went to college, went to school, got a job. And then I was just damn, I'm sad. But what makes me happy? And it was oh, music makes me happy all the time. It never fails. So yeah, so I started to get into DJing, and people have always told me I should be a DJ. I don't ever remember them telling me to be a DJ, but people have always said yo, I always told you you should be a DJ, and I'm I don't remember, but maybe they're lying, but I don't know. But multiple people have told me this, so I'm pretty sure they probably said it. So I just tried it out one day, and I was just doing it on my own. Ordered this little small Newmark mixer. It's the smallest mixer you could get from Newmark. Actually, I lied. They came out with a smaller version now, but it was just a little $50 mixer off of eBay, not crazy. And I just started mixing. And my cousin actually is an actual DJ, so I eventually started hit him up yo, can you teach me how to DJ? And he was yeah, and then it just took off from there.
Why do you think you've always gravitated towards music? What is it about music that you love?
I don't know. I think it had to be my parents and my family. My family always has had music in our blood. My cousins were music artists. My mom always played music. My dad always used to play music. Sade was one of my favorite singers as a little kid. A little 9-year-old kid running around talking about, yeah, I listen to Sade is unheard of kind of. So it's that's where I was, introduced to music and all different kinds of music and stuff like that. And I always liked old music. And people used to make fun of me because they'd be yo, can I listen to your iPod? Can I listen to your iPod? And they would listen to my iPod, and my iPod would go from Maxi Priest, Wanna Be Close to You, to Knuck If You Buck by Crime Mob on shuffle. And it's just these two totally different genres, and it's you born in 1994, girl. So it's I love a lot of music. I love all genres of music. And yeah, everybody can connect to music. It's a universal language. No one's ever not being able to find something in the music that they don't love. I've never heard of somebody just being nah, music's just not my thing. No, you like what you like. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but music is something that people, it's a universal language. You can communicate, you can, send messages through music, and especially since we African, that's in our blood. That's how we used to communicate.
So when you were a kid and even today, and you go about making CDs and playlists and mixes, how do you want to impact the person when you're making them?
I don't necessarily think about the person. That's kind of selfish. I don't know. But I don't think about the person. I just think about this is fire. I think this is now I think about the person because it's literally my job. As a DJ, I have to think about what other people might want to hear. But before, when I was making CDs and stuff like that, I was just you gonna like this song, you gonna like this song, you gonna like this song, and I just put it on there. And then if you didn't like it, you skipped it, went to the next song. It was fine. But I kind of just took my ear and just was you gonna like it because I gave it to you. Because I gave it to you, so I don't know.
Talk to me about coming up as a DJ and people that helped you.
So coming up as a DJ, like I said, my cousin Mez, shout out to Mez Wave if you ever see him. Show my cousin some love. So him, just showing me like the ropes, YouTube, but mainly him, and like just telling me like, okay, word, you do this, next step, do this, like, you know, like he was always there watching me take the next step and grow. And like I remember just being so excited all the time when I would like do something I used to think was super, super hard, and I'm just like, damn, I could never do this, and then mastering it. And now thinking back 3 years like later, I'm just like, damn, I used to really be stressed. I used to really be stressed about why I can't blend these two songs. It's just like easy for me now. Like it's like innate. So yeah, I'm still learning. I would never call myself like a seasoned DJ. I'm definitely a new DJ, and definitely still learning like the different, like just different world of DJ, because there's so much to it. Like there's hours and hours of like work that people don't see that goes into DJing, and like people put in work, like so much work. So if you ever see a DJ, make sure you give them their props, because we put in so much work, like when it comes to organizing, when it comes to downloading, when it comes to practicing, and then you're doing it over and over and over again. It's not you're doing something new all the time. Like you're doing something over and over and over and over again, because you're trying to perfect it. You want it to sound a certain way, especially if you have a specific ear for certain things that you like. So yeah, so I feel like he was there and helping me get through all those steps. And then people like Real P, who is the homie, Guru Snow, Slick Vic, DJ Mott. Shout out to DJ Mott. He actually, the first time I ever performed as a DJ was virtually, and it was an impromptu Zoom, and they was just like talking on the Zoom. It was like DJs DJing on Zoom parties, and then at the end it was like the let out, and I was just like mad amp. I was lit. I had liquid courage, and I was like, I'm a DJ, and showed everybody my equipment. And I had like a cool setup, and it was like a legit setup, and people were like, oh shit, like you actually DJ. But I've never DJed in front of people besides my cousin ever. So I just unmuted and just started playing. Like I didn't hook up to no iRig, nothing. It was horrible sound. Like it was like horrible sound, but everyone was fucking with it, and they was like, yo, we want to bring you back for like an actual show, like get an iRig, get a mic, get all this shit. So the next thing I did, I went out to Amazon, and it was the next weekend. I went on Amazon. I found everything that I needed. I bought like a $10 mic, $20 mic stand, $55 iRig, because I had it shipped express, and then had bought a backup one just in case that one didn't freaking work, and then I had to buy like RCA cables, because my little controller only took RCA cables. So it was a lot, like, and then I had to get RCA splitters. So if you don't know, like RCA splitters are like these little things that are able to put like, you can put like two RCA cables into one RCA jack. So because you got to hook up the RCA jack, and you got to hook up to your speakers. Because my mixer was a lower level mixer, it didn't have more than one master output, so I had to get two master outputs and figure out how that works. And he was really like, okay, you gotta get this. I was early to sound check everything, made sure I was ready, and I was practicing the whole week. I was making sure it was gonna sound right, and they loved it again. And ever since then, I did more Zoom shows. Then people, like, you know, started to go back outside. So I, like, DJ'd my friends' parties and stuff like that. And then I met you guys. I met Thrill, which is Cam and Steph. And they, like, took my DJing career to a whole nother level. And I am forever indebted to these people. Shout out to Shelly and Shamir, because they the homies, too. They are very big, like, foundation in, like, me being a DJ. So shout out to them. And yeah, like my friends just like are my number one like supporters, and my family, and they just like encourage me to just be me, and I could just do what I want to do. And I don't know, sometimes I become like so down on myself about certain things, and they are the ones that like lift me up. So a lot of the success and things that people see that are like, you know, on social media and stuff like that, it's not just me behind that, even though it's my face. It's like a whole team. Like people say it takes a village, so it takes a village to create a career.
Tell me about the process of, you talked about being a DJ. You have to go through crates, you know what I'm saying? You have to download music, you have to organize it, and then you have to eventually decide, like, these are the songs I want to play for this, like, this party. So how do you go about doing that?
So you have to be organized before you get to wherever you're going. And in organization is, like, relative to, like, how your brain works. Like, how does your brain categorize music? Some people go by years, some people go by genre, some people go by like I made this set 1, set 2, party sets, chill sets. Like, you do what works for you. Like, I know some DJs who don't have like organized, like they DJ off of memory, like, and it's the craziest thing. It's so hard, and it's like amazing, because it's like your brain literally just knows exactly what to play. And I know what that's like. I personally can't do that, because I can't memorize every song ever, like off the top of my head. But some people do that, and it's like, that's their thing, and that works for them. But me personally, I download music. And once you download it, I have an external hard drive, which I need to get rid of. But I put it on my external hard drive, then take the folder from my external hard drive, upload it into Serato, analyze it. Once it's analyzed, then you go into that folder, sort all the music into all the different folders. So like my cousin taught me how to do it. It's kind of like by genre, and then you put it by year. And then something I did on my own was I did a lot of like Boston shows a lot. So I have like artists by sections, so like homegrown artists. And then I have like all the shows that I've ever did like in a crate. So like if I did like a specific show, or I made a certain set for a show, I just have those crates, because you can always use those again. And then like something that I'm getting into now, shout out to Real P, just like quick mixes, like shit I know is about to hit, like 3-4 songs in a crate, like just knowing that it's about to hit. And then when you're in the party, you're feeling out the crowd, like you're just trying to see like who's here. And then like sometimes crowds are really hard, because there's people who like don't dance, right? And then like for the first like 2-3 hours nobody's dancing, and that's because nobody's lit. Then people get so lit, and then they want to dance to everything. Like, and then you're like okay, playing everything that you think they might like back to back, or like one genre's hitting more than the other. Like, okay, R&B's hitting way harder. That's my specialty. I love R&B. I love everything R&B. Like, it's just such a broad category. Yeah, so R&B may be hitting, but then you moved over to dance hall, and dance hall's hitting, and then you're moving back to maybe hip hop, and then you went to Afro beats, and then you're doing some house music, and then you're doing some edits, and you're back to back, and you're just seeing what's hitting, and then you just go off of that. You just feel the vibe. And I think that's a big thing. Like, my cousin always told me, like, just make sure you're reading the room, because DJs love to play for themselves and other DJs, because a lot of people like to hear the same songs over and over again. So if you go to a club, you're gonna like the song that you hear. Like, how many times do people love hearing Buy You a Drink? Like, they're gonna like to hear that song, so they like to hear the same things over and over again. But you went to the club once out of the month. The DJ's been at the club 4 or 5 times out of the week. So they done played Buy You a Drink like so many times that they're tired of it, right? So it's like, sometimes when you're a DJ, you get to play what you like, and you start hearing it, and you're just like, oh, this is what I like this is what I want. And then you start playing it, and then you start to see like, oh, is this working for the crowd? If not, and then some crowds just go everywhere you want to go. Like, some crowds you could do your whole routine or your whole thing and go everywhere, freestyle, scratch, like do whatever you want to do, and the crowd is just fucking with you. That's like probably like the best experience. And there's also experiences where you have really tough crowds, where it's like there's one crowd where there's people who are just always wanting to hear like drill. Like, you cannot play, as much as we love drill, we cannot play drill all night, my friend. Like, there's no way. There's no way. There's not even like, there's no way I can do that the whole night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. Can't do that for you, but I can give everybody a little bit, give you just a little bit, you feel me? So I don't know, it's just like when you're playing, it's a lot that goes into it. It's more so like, have fun, like, because you're not gonna be happy with your set, and you're not gonna want to keep doing it if you're not having fun. Especially a lot of DJs have like 9 to 5, so it's like when you're working, you know, all day, and then you go out at night and DJ. You don't want to be doing something that you necessarily are not having fun with, because it's like taking up all your time and energy, and it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of hand-eye coordination. It's a lot of like just being prepared. Like, you got to make sure you have all your cords, your wires. You got to make sure you have the correct driver for the mixer. Like, whatever mixer you're using, are you on CDJs, are you on a controller, are you on turntables today? Like, you're just doing a lot. It's a lot of curating, and people always forget that the DJ is the most important part of the event. You have a shitty venue, you can have the worst venue, but if the music is on point, no one's going to care. Like, no one's going to care. So, and the DJ also, you know, leads everybody through the night. They're talking on the mic, they're interacting with people. Like, I always like to smile and laugh and have a good time and sing with people, because it's like, that's what I do at the club. Why wouldn't I do it with, you know, while I'm DJing? So, and that makes it fun, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of time the DJ is away from the crowd, and the crowd is who we serve. Like, we're working for y'all, you know. So it just feels good to like interact with people and have a good time, you know. Don't request too much. Like, chill out on the request, people. It's a lot.
So how has DJ changed your life in terms of how you move and like how you present yourself to others, just as something that you love doing?
It's changed me a lot, because I can express myself like in a way. Like, I used to talk in lyrics. Like, people, like, literally, what's that game where they're like, you have to say this word but you can't say all the other words that related to it? It's like apples to apples or something like that. I don't know. I would win every time because I would talk in lyrics. Like, I'll just know like a song with that word in it, and I'll just say the lyric, and then people would know the song, and then they'd be like, boom, and I always win. So like, I don't know, it just gave me a way to like express myself, because now all the things that are happening in my head like can come out through the music. And then sometimes it's frustrating for me too, like even though it is a release, it also kind of is frustrating, because especially when I want something to sound a certain way and it doesn't come out that way, it's like, you know, hard for me like to, you know, because I get so frustrated because I want it to sound a certain way. Like when I was making mixes like through Ableton, DJs have to do a lot of work with different edits and things like that, because when you want something to sound a certain way, you do it yourself. Like when you hear a lot of like two songs, like a beat from another song and the lyrics, like DJs are doing that. Like they're either doing it in real time, or they're doing it, you know, beforehand, recording it, or mixing it on Ableton or whatever, and then they're playing it back, right? Those are called edits. So like, yeah, so it takes like a lot. It's just like a lot of creativity, especially like when you're taking like different pieces from like different songs and putting it all together. Yeah, so like it just gave me a avenue to like express myself and be like okay with like how I express myself. I'm like definitely a perfectionist, because like I always want it to be presented like how I want it, but it just gives me something else to focus on, because I've always been like school, work, and never really like touched up on my creativity, you know. So it was just a new avenue for me to focus on.
So what advice do you have for someone who's like today wants to start becoming a DJ?
Yeah, like do it. Like just fucking do it. Like, but no, like honestly do it. Like I don't give a fuck who's doing it. Like I don't care how many people say no, or if you feel like you don't sound like this certain person, or blah blah. Like don't get down on yourself. Like if you want to try this, like try it. Like, you know, there's a lot of like taboo like around DJing, like, oh, if you don't use turntables or whatever, which you should, like, you know, you should explore how to use turntables, how to use CDJs, how to use controllers, like go, you know, back and forth between different equipment, because it makes you versatile, it makes you marketable too. Like you could just hop into any venue or hop into any, you know, spot and then like do your thing, because you know how to use the equipment, you know. So definitely explore, but don't let nobody get you down on using the sync button or, you know, but obviously make sure you learn that. Like make sure you learn how to beat match and stuff like that. Make sure you learn how to count music, stuff like that. YouTube is a good place to start, but just do it and have fun with it, because, you know, a lot of times like we could get caught up in like, oh, I have to do it like this because this person did it like this, or people gonna not think that I'm a good DJ because I don't do this. And like I even do that. Like I do that a lot. Like if I'm like, oh, I have to learn how to do this because I want to sound a certain way, like blah, 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 and that's just like me. But I'm also saying like, try it, because if you never just did it, like if you never just did it, you never know. Like, this is J. Cole quote. It's like, worst thing to death is a regret-filled coffin. So try before you die. I always wonder what if. And then you thank the Lord for the wonderful gift. Looking for strength because it's crunch time. So, like, just try it, because you die. We all gonna die, and then you're gonna regret it because you didn't get to do it, right? So, only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin, okay? So try before you die. But yeah, just have a good time and like talk to people. Like, I know it's like, don't talk to the DJ. I'm a big advocate of like, do not talk to the DJ. But like when they're like chilling, when you see them on parties, talk to the DJ. Like, oh, what's up? Like, like get to know them. Listen to SoundCloud. Yo, SoundCloud, people sleep on SoundCloud. Like, shout out to all my SoundCloud rappers, mixers, producers. SoundCloud has so much music, and like, it's overlooked because people be like, SoundCloud, but do not sleep. Bandcamp, all that. They have tons of music on there, and like, a lot of people don't know it's their favorite song until the DJ plays it. Like, people will always be like, yo, what's that song? Or Shazam your shit, and you won't even know. And then they'll be like, that's their favorite song. Like, for a minute, Hit Different had came out. I remember SZA's Hit Different had came out, and people wasn't really listening to it. And then we played it at an event, and I remember somebody saying, like, every time I see you, I think of Hit Different, because that's the first time I heard that song, and now it's my favorite song. So, like, you never know how you're going to impact somebody through just you being you. Like, play your music and try, like, and be yourself, and love it, because like I said, music's a universal language. You never know who you can impact, because music makes people feel something, and people always remember how you made them feel, not what you said, not what you did, like how you made them feel, because that's like it's like a memory signal. The synapses in your brain, they connect, and when you feel something, like, it reacts in your brain. So love and insanity cause the same chemical reaction. So if you love something, your brain remembers it. Not saying love makes you insane, but hey.
Talk to me about how do you feel about the DJ scene in Boston, and like, for the DJs doing their things, like the people that run Silk and the people that run All You Can Eat.
Shout out to Silk, All You Can Eat, like the Ass on Fire, Plug Boston, Collective. Oh my God, there's so many people. Oh, I'm blinking now because I'm saying all these people. Like, so many DJs in Boston. And they're so good too. Like, everyone in Boston is so good. Like, and it's like, from a DJ perspective, it's so much fun DJing for other DJs, because it's like, you're DJing for somebody who knows what's going on. Like, a lot of the times something will go over the crowd's head that other DJs will be like, yo, that was crazy, and it's like, it's always fun DJing for people who understand what's going on. And don't sleep though, sometimes in the crowd people just like music heads. People love music, so even if they don't DJ, like, they'll definitely come up to you. But I feel like the DJ scene in Boston is super like evolved. Like, it moves so well, and I think that there's just like a culture in Boston where people want to see everybody. Like, I don't think people just go into one specific place. Like, that's why you can go to Silk and then go to Fields Fest and then go out to Providence for Stay Silent, or go to All You Can Eat, or go to the morning show. You can go to these places, the night show. You can go with all these different promoters in different places, and get that fix, like, because it's so broad, and people, it's not just the same thing. Like, it's so diverse. Like, you can go in here, you can go to one club, and the whole night you can hear R&B, dance, house, like some alternative shit. You can hear a cartoon mixed in that shit, and it'd be like, dude, like what are you doing? Like, it's crazy. Like, it's just so much music. Like, and it makes you think, like, how creative can I get with it? Like, like, I don't know. Like, I'm a big fan of working like things that are relevant into my sets. Like I'm the type to like download like a commercial or a cartoon and like put it into my sets, and like have people be like, oh shit, like, was that just Courage the Cowardly Dog in your set? Like, shout out to the morning show. So yeah, just shit like that. It's just a good time, and like you can see it in different. Everybody has a different niche. Like nobody sounds the same. Like no one sounds the same. And then the female DJs, shout out to all the female DJs in Boston. Shout out to all the female DJs. I hate to even be like female DJs, but we need our flowers, okay? So, the female DJs are killing it. And I see that there's more like coming up, and like I'm relatively new. Like I'm new to the scene for sure. I'm a rookie. But they've welcomed me, and the love is just amazing. And just being able to be like hit people up and be like, can I use this? Or, how'd you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's just like a privilege, because in a lot of cities and a lot of places, I don't think people really support you like that. Like, you don't got a controller for this event. See you, like, do your own type thing. But here, people will help you, and I think that's a big thing in Boston culture. And people are not like judging you for what you do. Like, it's just, oh, this is what you do. Like, this is what you do, So, yeah, the Boston scene is kind of dope for DJs.
Talk to me about the most fun you've had DJing.
I think the most fun I've had DJing was at my house. Like, when I'm DJing, like, in my room, or when I'm DJing in the living room, where it's just like, hey, I'm just about to play some music, and like my friends are chilling in the living room, and we're just mixing, singing, having a good time. Those are like the best times I like find myself like feeling like, oh yeah, like this is why I do this, And then when you get to take that same feeling and like bring it to a venue or bring it to a show, it's like the most fun I have. And also putting on my own shows, so like the morning show is fun for me, because I've always been that person that like likes to delegate and likes to be like, this is what we're doing, like this is the vibe. So like being able to play whatever you want and not have to worry about like I have to play this because of this, or having a set routine. It's just like you can have fun and go wherever you want. Like I think that's the most fun. And then not feeling like stuff has to be perfect, or feeling like you're not good enough. It's like you just doing it because you have a good time, like you like to have fun, put in the work, but like have fun.
Talk to me about how you feel about the future of the New England music and creative scene.
I feel like the future of New England, I feel like it definitely is like on the come up. I feel like there's a lot of collaboration between artists and between just like the industry here in Boston specifically. Like I love that people are collabing, people are working together, people want to see each other grow. And it's healthy competition too. Like it's like, okay, like this person's on this, and like I want to grow too. Like I want to see you grow, of course, but I also want to grow myself. So I think that the music scene in Boston is getting way more collaborative than it used to be. I wasn't always a part of the music scene. I'm just here, but I do remember like just from like small experiences back in the day, like it was very cliquey, like So Boston's like known for like being small, so. I feel like now it's like, collaboration is like the way to go. And I feel like that's what we're moving towards. And hopefully for the future, what I want is people to come to Boston. Like, I want people to be like, oh, like, this is popping in Boston. Like, I want to come to Boston, like I want to come here to this city, and and we really show out and be like, this is what we have to offer. Like, this is where we at, like, and like showing off basically and repping the city, because there's a lot of talent in Boston. And I think that people think because we don't necessarily have like the resources and don't have the space to do that, it kind of hinders people's growth. So I feel like the people who do have a foot in the industry and who do have that kind of momentum at the time, are pushing for that, so that people who want to come up and people who are still working, they, have a path to, walk on and then eventually create their own. Yeah, because Boston there's Black people here, and there's culture here and there's love here. And I think a lot of people miss that. Like, and I just really hope that it becomes a place where people are like, I'm going to Boston. Like, I need like new talent. I need some, I need some creative. I need a big scene or something like that. Like, I want to go to Boston. Like, I want people to say that, and like, I want people to be able to grow like their businesses. Like, the reason why there's so much, people want to go to LA or go to Atlanta or Miami is because there's resources down there. There's studios down there. There's space down there. There's, collaborators down there. There's like corporations down there that support artists down there, in Boston we have some of that, but we don't have a lot of it. So I feel like eventually, once we start building up that momentum, that can open up doors for people to get those spaces, to get those companies, to come here. Because it's like, you don't got a studio where you could be at AM, how you getting work done? We do it in the morning. If you don't have the resources to be creative, if you don't have, like that backing, how you gonna get it done? And it's not saying that it can't be done, because people come up out the mud, but it's a lot easier when you have the resources. It's a lot easier when you can go downtown or go up the street and there's a studio, Like, that's just how it is. There's spaces for you to do these things. We don't have that here in Boston, That's why people are moving to those other cities. And I think retention is a big thing, especially people of color, because, we bring the culture. Like, we make it. So it's like, trying to keep Boston talent in Boston is a hard thing. And, I think that the people who are here, who are pushing that same, concept, they're real valuable to our Boston scene right now. And I hope for the future we can create more of that.
The night show.
The night show at Good Life.
It's a wrap.